I am not a young man, obviously. I'm not as a good debater as I used to be. I don't talk as smooth. I don't walk as easily as I used to. He owned that the debate was not his best night.
Is President Biden considering stepping down?
Absolutely not. And you heard, I believe, directly from the campaign as well.
After he returned, though,
but
and
you
he blamed
also
jet lag yesterday.
Hold on a second. Look, it is not unusual for a president to use a teleprompter. It isn't. It is not unusual. I didn't get into the president specifically about what he meant by that, so I want to be really mindful. I don't want to get into that. But I think what the president was trying to say is that he had a schedule that was rigorous. The travel that he had to do, crossing multiple, obviously, going from Italy all the way to the West Coast, and I think, as you know, that could have a toll on anyone, whether you're 20 or 80. That could have a toll on you, and so I think that's what he was alluding to, speaking to. I don't want to go beyond that because I haven't spoken to him on the other component of when he was speaking about his staff, but as it relates to certainly the travel, it was rigorous. He had a rigorous travel. We talk about it sometimes. I think I've mentioned this to some of your colleagues, that he has especially when he travels abroad, it's a pretty rigorous travel. We get tired looking at him doing his meetings and traveling, and so I think that's what he was speaking to. And I don't think it has a toll on, regardless of what age you are, it has a toll on you, that type of travel.
Thank you. There's no question that international travel can be rigorous. I think the confusion is that he's still suffering from the effects of that nearly 2 weeks later. So can you articulate a little bit about, do you guys usually have accommodations for him after he does a trip, that he's going to have jet lag for that long a period of time?
So can you, when you say 2 weeks later, what do you mean?
Well, the debate, he arrives back in the United States 12 or 13 days before the debate. So his explanation for a poor debate performance is jet lag.
So what I want to say is it's the jet lag and also the cold, right? It is the two things and that occurred. And you all heard it in his voice when he did the debate, right? And it is not even something that we shared ahead of time. You heard it in his voice and we confirmed it. And I think that's important to note as well. It is the jet lag and the cold. But I want to be really clear here. This is not an excuse, right? This is not an excuse. You all asked for an explanation, and we're giving it an explanation. It is not an excuse. I don't want that to be the leading piece of this. The only reason we're sharing this, because it was asked of me here, and the president certainly wanted to give an explanation himself, and that's what he did yesterday. We understand that it wasn't his best night. It wasn't a great debate. We understand that. And we understand what supporters saw, what the American people saw, and what you all saw. And so we wanted to give an explanation. So I don't want to get into this, are you giving this excuse, not an excuse? We're giving you what our explanation was. We want to continue to make sure that we do everything that we can to deliver for the American people. That's what we're going to continue to do.
I also wanted to ask just about the schedule again.
Yeah.
Because a lot of high-level Democrats, I think, were concerned with the debate performance, but they've also been almost just as or more concerned about the response since then, that he hasn't done more. He spoke for 4 minutes in public on Monday evening on the Supreme Court decision, and he spoke for about 10 minutes in public yesterday with the emergency weather situation.
And he's going to speak today. He's going to go to Wisconsin. He's going to go to Pennsylvania.
But it truly is an emergency situation. It's taking almost a week for him to sort of address it. When there's natural disasters, when there's other things happening, he wants to get in front of the cameras and speak to it. In this case, there seems to be multiple days.
Matt, I would disagree with you. He did address it. He addressed it on Friday in North Carolina in front of hundreds of supporters. He addressed it. And he talked about an issue that you all ask me about all the time, his age. He took it head on, literally head on. He didn't run away from it. He didn't hide from it. He said, I am not a young man, obviously. I'm not as a good debater as I used to be. I don't talk as smooth. I don't walk as easily as I used to. He said it himself to hundreds of supporters in North Carolina. So I would disagree that he didn't take this head on. He did. He did. He talked about it in front of supporters. Which,
he's
by the
had
way,
one
that,
instance with
but-
that,
but-
and he's called 6 people by your
But
count.
by the way, that matters, right? Engaging with the American people and standing in front of them and being honest about that and talking about age. Again, something that you all ask me about all the time. He took that right on. Now, he is talking and engaging with leaders. That is something that he's doing. He's having good conversations with them. He's going to meet with Democratic governors, governors who he believes have been really strong partners with him in delivering on some of these historic accomplishments. But I would disagree on him not taking this head on. I mean, being in North Carolina and taking that head on. Obviously, that's not the speech that he was going to give on Thursday, right? Before the debate. So he understood, right, when he got to North Carolina, that he needed to address it. And he decided to do it in front of supporters. And he talked about it. But he understands the concerns. He understands what people saw. And that's why he's spoken to it multiple times. And he's spoken about his age, for example, multiple times. Not just this past Friday. And he gets it. He gets it. We get it. And so what we're going to do is continue to look forward, continue to work on behalf of the American people. And there is a record here. There is a record here that we can speak to. There is a record here that matters to majority of Americans. We were able to turn some things around, whether it's the pandemic, the economy, expanding healthcare. All of those things matter to the American people. And so that's going to be certainly our focus. But the president gets it, guys. He does. He gets what people saw and how people felt.
He was on the way to the debate. The doctor was with him. He had a cold. He's 81. Does he not get checked out by the doctor? I'm just
Well, I
curious
can
how
tell
that
you,
works.
he did not get checked out by the doctor. It's a cold, guys. It's a cold, and I know that it affects everybody differently. We have all had colds, and so no, he was not checked by the doctor. What was your other question?
How is his health today? Does he still have the
Well,
cold?
I saw him today. My team and I saw him today. He looked great, and he was with the vice president. They both look great. I know. I was asked yesterday if he still had a cold. I think if he still has a lingering cold, but he is ready to go. He's ready to go. I kind of have to wrap it up. Go ahead.
Great. Sources have told ABC that the president recognizes how difficult his political predicament is. So how has his mood been as of late? Has he been down? Is he frustrated?
I mentioned, I think, multiple times at this point that I got to see him. My team and I got to see him and the vice president. He's great. He's like in a great mood, ready to get things going. He's going to do the Medal of Honor later today. He's going to meet with Democratic governors, and that's kind of what you want to see, right, from your leader.
Any frustrations with you all after
What I can
debate?
say is that he wants to move forward. That's what he wants to do. He wants to move forward. Acknowledge, right? Acknowledge what happened. Be very clear-eyed about it, and very forthcoming and honest about what you all saw. But he also knows that he's the president of the United States. He has to continue to work and deliver on behalf of the American people. That's what he has to continue to do, and that's how he's going to move forward. All right, everybody. Thanks, everyone.
Subscribe to Oneindia channel and never miss an update.